where we're diving back into the history and lore of the Overwatch universe. Yeah, remember that awesome complete history and lore video of Overwatch that we did? Of course you do. And if not, you can check it out here. This time, we want to do an even deeper dive into some of the lore for specific characters that we find very unique and compelling. So the subject for today's video is the ultimate cyborg ninja supreme himself, Genji. What is it that makes Genji tick? Is he truly the ninja with the synthetic heart of gold? Is he making cow eyes with mercy? We're going to get into all that and more. This is the complete history and lore of Genji in Overwatch. Before we start with Genji's story, we have to get into some background for the Shimada clan. Centuries ago, in feudal Japan, the Shimada clan was established. The Shimada clan is a group of elite ninjas based in Shimada Castle in Hanamura, Japan. Over the years, the Shimada clan flourished and built a vast criminal empire that dealt in arms, illegal substances, and other illegal goods, and of course, assassination. The Shimada clan operated under a system where the eldest son would assume the head of the family's operations and become its one true leader. Some years before the current events of Overwatch, there is the leader of the Shimada clan, Sojiro Shimada. Sojiro had two sons, his eldest son Hanzo and his younger son Genji. Based on the Shimada hierarchy, it was Hanzo who was destined to become the next Oyabun of the Shimada clan. So as a young man, Genji Shimada was often spoiled by his father Sojiro, likely because Genji was not destined to become the clan leader. Sojiro gave his son the nickname of Sparrow. Genji's interests did not lie in the Shimada family business. He was instead far more interested in leisure activities, living a life of luxury that some might call frivolous. After the passing of Sojiro, the obligation fell to Hanzo to assume the leadership role of the Shimada. However, Genji had no interest in getting involved with the family business and often ignored it in pursuit of his playboy lifestyle. While Hanzo was set to assume his rightful place as the new head of the Shimada clan, the clan's high-ranking members saw Genji's presence as a liability to the family. The Shimada clan elders requested that Hanzo attempt to straighten out Genji and put him on the path towards helping Hanzo rule the Shimada empire. Maybe it was the purity in Genji's heart that saw the Shimada activities as wrong, or perhaps it was something else. Whatever his reasoning, Genji refused to bend to the Shimada clan's will. Tensions between Genji and Hanzo built to a powder keg that was waiting to go off, and as a result, the Shimada clan elders manipulated the two brothers into a fatal confrontation. Or at least that's what they thought. For the good of the Shimada clan, Hanzo would have to kill his younger brother. The confrontation was inevitable. Call it fate, call it whatever you'd like, but the fuse was lit and blood was going to be spilled. An enraged Hanzo did confront Genji, and like the biblical story of Cain and Abel, Hanzo struck his brother down. However, with the act, Hanzo's heart was broken. The act of killing his only brother was a shame that he could not bear, and as a result of his actions, Hanzo banished himself from the Shimada clan and would only return to the castle once a year to pay his respects to his fallen brother. But this is not where young Genji Shimada's story would end, or else he wouldn't be in Overwatch. Although Genji was mortally wounded and left on the verge of death from his fight with his brother, he was still alive. On that fateful night where two brothers fought to the death, Genji was given a reprieve from death's door and saved by the intervention of one Dr. Angela Ziegler, of course known as Mercy, of the Global Security Force Overwatch. Genji was seen as a potential asset to Overwatch to combat the criminal activities of the Shimada clan, and Mercy rescued the near-dead Genji. Genji was given an option. Overwatch would help rebuild his body in exchange for his help in combating his former clan, and so Genji agreed. Genji's body was put through a cyberization process, turning the former man into a living cyborg. The process granted Genji enhanced speed, agility, strength, and of course even better, sweet-ass ninja skills. Genji was no longer human, but a living weapon who sought to destroy the Shimada criminal empire. For some time, Genji was a part of Overwatch, or at the very least, the spin-off of Overwatch. the covert Black Ops group led by Gabriel Reyes known as Blackwatch. At the time of the King's Row Uprising, Blackwatch-era Genji took part in the training and evaluation of Lena Oxton, aka Tracer, after she became a new recruit to the team. Genji was also stationed at Watchpoint Gibraltar. His views were not always positive regarding fellow Blackwatch members Jesse McCree and Moira O'Diernan. Later on, Genji was also part of the team that took on Doomfist in Nimbani, fighting alongside Tracer and Winston. Genji valiantly attempted to stop Doomfist, but he was no match for the Talon leader. Thankfully, Winston was able to put a stop to Doomfist before he murdered both Genji and Tracer. Though Genji was granted this new life by Overwatch, he was not at peace with himself. The cyborg body given to Genji caused him great pain and conflict. He was unable to accept his new life and existence, and after apparently dismantling the Shimada clan, Genji left Overwatch. It's not exactly clear when Genji left Overwatch, but wanting nothing to do with the conflict, Genji did leave the team before Jack Morrison and Gabriel Reyes' destructive battle at the Overwatch Swiss headquarters. And so Genji wandered the world to find meaning and peace with his new existence. Eventually, he came to the Shambali monastery in Nepal and crossed paths with the Omnic monk of Shambali order, Tekartha Zenyatta. At first, Genji was reluctant to accept Zenyatta's wisdom and tutelage, but eventually, Zenyatta was able to mentor Genji to find his inner peace. At long last, Genji discovered the spiritual catharsis that he had been seeking, and he came to accept his existence as part man, part machine. Zenyatta taught Genji that while he did have a mechanical body, his human heart and soul were still intact. For Genji, his mechanical parts were no longer a curse, but a gift and strength he could use to help others in the world. With this spiritual awakening, Genji finally felt free for the first time in his life. And while Genji's mind and soul were finally free and batting on all cylinders, his work was far from over. Talon was increasing its activities and sought to steal a list of Overwatch agents from Watchpoint Gibraltar. Thankfully, Winston was able to stop Reaper and Talon before this was able to happen, and he launched the recall of Overwatch agents. Genji was among the agents on the recall list, operating in Western North America at the time call was issued. With the recall having gone out, Genji sought out an unlikely ally. On the 10th anniversary of Genji's own supposed death, his tortured brother Hanzo visited the Shimada castle in order to pay his respects to his brother. But there, Hanzo received an unlikely visit from a ghost of his past. Genji revealed himself to Hanzo, confronting his long-lost brother, and Genji's intent was not to hurt Hanzo. In fact, his intent was to show he had long forgiven his brother, and it was time for Hanzo to forgive himself. With Overwatch returning to challenge Talon, Hanzo would have to pick a side. Hanzo would not fall in line with his brother, but Genji left believing that there was still hope for his brother to truly redeem himself, and in a flash, Genji disappeared. But the message was still clearly felt by the now profoundly pensive Hanzo. Genji's current whereabouts are unknown. He was last seen with Zenyatta over Christmas time, writing a letter with a sparrow quill, and it's our belief that Genji was writing this letter to one Dr. Angela Ziegler, Mercy, who received a letter with an identical quill right around the same holiday season. It's long believed that there is a brewing romance between Overwatch's resident cyborg ninja and healer extraordinaire. The two were happy to exchange chocolates with each other around Valentine's Day, and even though Angela was somewhat ungrateful that the chocolates she received from Genji were not of the Swiss variety, I guess her parents never taught her it's the thought that counts. So that's our look back through the complete history and lore of Genji in Overwatch, but what did you think of this trip through the Overwatch universe? Are there any important parts of Genji's story that we might have left out? Or is there any speculation that you have about Genji's past or future? Let us